Okay, boys, a very interesting video about Ashes of Creation has been released 2 days ago, and I wanted to react to it as quickly as I can. Unfortunately, I lost my voice for 2 days. You can still hear it. My voice is extremely raspy, and I actually tried to make this video yesterday, but I almost croaked during the making of it. So today, I'm feeling much better, and I can focus on this one because I know that you guys love it when I talk about Ashes of Creation. So I'm gonna keep doing that and give you my God honest opinion. So this video is called, Is the Alpha Worth It? Now we know the answer, but I want to hear what this guy has to say because this video did get a lot of traction and maybe has some interesting things to say. I always try to hear what the other side think, even though this guy might agree with me. I don't really know. I only checked out the first minute of it.
Ashes of Creation, the MMORPG that screams the vibes of the now defunct ARPGs mixed with a bit of WoW and a smidgen of Ultima Online. What's the deal with this new release? And release is right. The Ashes devs, Intrepid Studios, have
This is already starting off strong because he called it a release. I hated when people call it a test, like, oh, it's a test, oh, it's a... Well, why are they charging $50 for it? Why does it have a cash up? If you put it on Steam, I do not care if you tell me that this is a test. I'm expecting a certain level of a product. You can tell me, oh, you're paying $50 to be an alpha tester, because then I am going to clown on you.
Decided now's the time during their Alpha 2 test to drop their release on early.
And by the way, I'm not saying the game has to be perfect. Like, alpha test is still, like, early access is still early access. I do agree to some extent. $50, I'm expecting something from you.
Early access on Steam for $49.99. This gives the players full access to the alpha going forward. When the game does eventually release, it'll be free with a traditional subscription after the first month. So,
of course.
You're paying for access now to watch the game develop and to provide feedback. This isn't a critique of the alpha charge. If anything,
how far have we fallen as MMO players that we're actually willing to pay so much money to be a tester? Companies used to pay people to do this stuff. And now people are actually paying to do this role. It's wild to me. It's actually like, I don't think in my wildest dream I could have predicted this outcome. We have truly fallen this low. It's crazy.
I think it's a strong way to test the game and a way to build a war chest for future development. The experience has been mixed.
Yeah, really good way to build your wallet, sure. Because you're not building any player base with this one, Chief. This was the worst possible marketing decision Steven could have ever done. Like, ever.
With most new players, first-time view of the game being stuck for a full day being unable to connect to their Steam account to the website for Ashes itself. Funny enough, the servers on the day seemed fine with streamers playing while the rest of us screamed into the void to let us in. Now that the servers have chilled out and the Steam reviews have been bombed or starting to return to rise back up to something a little bit.
Of course, because the only people that play this game are the whales that left behind. They're so delusional, you cannot convince them that what they do is wrong. Everyone who's playing Ashes of Creation right now is a Diablo Immortal player. I can guarantee you that if you open their phones, you'll watch all of these gacha games on it. I promise you that. Because I've been told that I was poor and I couldn't afford Ashes, and that's why I'm mad. These are the type of people that actually play this. Like, this is insane.
More accurate to the current state, 53% mixed is what it's at right now as of recording this. Let's talk about what the game is and it isn't, and what makes it unique in a relatively dead Western MMO space.
Unique.
And I do mean dead. Blizzard killed its MMO Odyssey, Amazon's New World is closing down next year, and they killed the in-progress MMOs such as Lord of the Rings and the Warhammer title that was in the works. The only bit of news, good news, in the MMO sphere for Western developers is the rumor that maybe Guild Wars 3 is coming. Intrepid.
Damn, he didn't even mention the Riot MMO. We're cooked, guys. It's over. We have nothing to play. It's so crazy. People are so infatuated with Ashes of Creation because it's literally the only alternative we have. I mean, it's a flicker of a dream, but it's a dream nonetheless. And it just goes to show how void the MMO, or how starved the MMO players are for a new game. It's crazy. And I know, because I'm one of like these guys too, right? I mean, I can control my impulses at least, so I won't go and buy Ashes and sim for that game. Clearly, it's not that good. But I still play WoW Classic because I have absolutely nothing else to do. It's just frustrating. And now I started to come into Guild Wars 2 and I'm actually having a blast. So, you know what? To some extent, it was actually a good thing that we were starved of MMOs because I got to try something different. I also tried Black Desert Online. Personally, it wasn't for me, but I can see why so many people love this game. And I'm gonna try many different MMOs down the line. It's very fun for me. And I love discovering new stuff and new communities.
It has been plugging along a while now with their successful Kickstarter back in 2017 and their first pre-alpha towards the end of that same year. A lot of the conversation around this game seems to be focused on how long the MMO is taking, which seems a bit daft to me. Like, what are people comparing this to? World of Warcraft took its estimated 5 years to develop, which wasn't nearly as feature-rich as the base mechanics of Ashes.
Brother, have you seen the test? Classic WoW is 10 times better. Well, it wasn't classic back in the day, it was just vanilla, but it was 10 times better. What are we even talking about? People play vanilla to this day. It's literally the GOAT. It's the best MMO out there. Are you comparing the trash Ashes of Creation offering us as something even remotely close to that? Yo, you're tripping balls, my dude. No way. I may have misunderstood him. Like, no way he's actually claiming that.
We'll talk about those mechanics shortly. Let's be real.
That
was Blizzard at its peak. One of the most well-regarded studios in the world at the time.
Absolutely.
Blizzard having not only established some genre-defining titles by them with the Warcraft series, StarCraft, the Brood War expansion, even inventing the ARPG genre, the loot and scoot Diablo style with Diablo 2 before WoW launched. Not to mention, they had an estimated $50 million in the bank to make WoW back in the early 2000s.
But Steven said he has exactly the amount of money he needs to just fund everything. He said himself that Ashes of Creation is fully funded, so are we trying to insinuate here that Ashes lacks the funds? Because that's not the case, at least from what I've heard from the man himself.
This is Ashes' little over a $3 million Kickstarter. It's not like making an MMO has gotten any cheaper in 2025.
But they're using an engine that does not belong to them. It cost by so much. You don't even understand how much. I hate it when people are never talking about this because I don't know if they're doing this out of like being innocent. Maybe they don't know. You know, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. But you need to understand, he's using Unreal Engine 5. This is an engine that does not belong to him. He did not build an engine from scrap, which is what takes most of your time usually. He actually took an engine with assets inside of it and all of the creation tools he needs to build an MMO, and that saves a ton on cost. A ton.
The fact that they got an MMO to market that's mostly functional deserves a standing ovation in my book.
What?
The game has been marketed as a social MMO, separating itself from the traditional categories of theme park, such as World of Warcraft, Elder Scrolls Online, Guild Wars 2, and the Sandbox titles such as Ultima.
Man, I need a minute to just even process what this guy had just said. Are you trying to insinuate that other MMOs aren't being social? Brother, it's in the nature of an MMO to be social. I mean, it's literally in the name, MMORPG, massively multiplayer, online, role-playing game, right? So, it's so weird to me that these Ashes defenders will try to justify this game lacking content by being a sandbox MMO and being focused about the social experience. You can do both. And by the way, these days, whenever any developers tells me about some sandbox game they're making, I'm going to assume it's garbage. Because nowadays the term sandbox is being used as some sort of an excuse to not build an actual game and won't give the players a good experience. Just because, oh, it's player driven. You need to create the content. You need to do all of this stuff. Like, bro, just build a good game. Like, don't let the players try to make up a game for you. You need to give us the tools. That's the thing about Sandbox. It's a playground, essentially. So, give us good tools, and yeah, we'll have fun within the game, but you need to give us something. Ashes gave nothing, at least from what we've seen. And yeah, we can talk about the future, and oh, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have that. Right now, we have nothing. And I'm gonna base everything I say on the things that are currently available, because I'm not gonna talk about the future. The future can be 20 years from now, okay? I can play this game with my literal grandkids. So let's be focused here on what's currently available and on what they're actually charging us ludicrous amounts of money for.
Star Wars Galaxies, and EVE Online, and the now dead Dual Universe that we've covered here on the channel. The concept of a social MMO is a neat one, and honestly the most unique thing about Ashes. It fits kind of neatly in between the two. Player interaction focused on group efforts to change and shape the world.
That's classic WoW. I mean, what is he even on about, dude?
For example, where the cities populate and grow are dictated by where the players decide to work and live in those regions. As you do just about anything in a province, your node gains experience as well. Enough players working together grow from a simple crossroads to an encampment to eventually a village and a city and so on and so forth, each level changing the region and the landscape. This can supposedly change access to dungeons, resources, all the while helping players grow.
Exactly, and on paper, it's a really good system too, but we need to see how it works so we can assess the functionality of it inside of the game. Because yes, it sounds good on paper, but once you try it out, it may be bad, because usually whenever something is being controlled by players, it's always going to be trash, because the greediest players always rise to the tops. Like only the top, always the sweats, always the guys you don't want to be in charge will always be in charge, because they just have the most amount of time to spend on the game. And we already know for a fact, Steven said that he wants to reward player investment inside of the game, which is a good philosophy for an MMO, but not in a way that control other players' behavior. Okay? So that's why I'm always against like PvP-based MMOs, because only the best of the best sweats will rise to the top, and they will control a certain region or an area, and you'll either be forced to join them or you'll just quit the game, because it's not gonna be fun for you just running around and getting ganked by them. It's gonna be bad. And if you'll put certain system inside of the game that defends them, then the sweats are going to be angry. And now you're gonna have another problem. And that's why PvP-based MMOs never stood the test of time. They all crumbled. And the same thing about Ashes. I think that if you're gonna give players the ability to be mayors and like do taxes on some people and all of that stuff, that's going to be extremely bad for the game. It sounds good on paper, but you should never do that. Like, players are greedy, and only the greediest will rise to the top. You know, it's kind of like real life. You know, who knew, right? And yeah, it's not gonna be good for you, Chief. It's gonna end up bad. You need to put certain limitations on these players for sure.
This is at the core of the gameplay loop. Supplies and construction material are physicalized and must be transported. No instant fast travel. Trade goods have become the best income generator, meaning moving packs between cities are the best way to make gold. If you've played ARPGs, then you've basically pictured how this functionally works. You load up your logistics mount or just your back and haul a pack from one point to another. Seeing convoys of players is fairly common occurrence now, at least at the stage that the alpha is at with Steam release. And of course, boats are a thing, though they're fairly expensive in the alpha. Of course, moving these packs makes you a target for PvP players, as if you are killed, your pack drops to the ground. As does the materials in your PvP players, as if you are killed, your pack drops to the ground.
Oh my god, hell no. Hell no, that's gonna cause so many issues down the line. I promise you that.
As does the materials in your material inventory. So if you're not a fan of being content for PvP, this is probably not the game for you. We'll talk.
Yeah, so nobody will play it. There we go. Yeah, we got our answer. Right on the spot. Great. I mean, yeah, this is the most unhealthy system I've ever heard of in my entire life. Nobody's gonna play this game. You're gonna be left with only the sweats, and there are like 10 people, so enjoy.
More about the PvP and PvE side later in the video. So the game's been out in alpha build for about a week now. Here's my thoughts on the alpha so far, and what you can expect if you decide to jump in. I won't be going in deep on the planned future features because, honestly, they don't matter as they're not here and we can't...
Because they don't exist. There is no plans for the future. They're just kind of going off of vibes, and that's pretty much it.
See that vision implemented. Combat is fairly standard MMO tab targeting, with 8 of your expected classes. Cleric, Tank, Fighter, Rogue, Ranger, Summoner, Mage, and Bard. With all the pros and cons that entails. It should feel fairly familiar to you. Character builds, perks, trait points, set up your rotations, gear and equipment as you level. The top level in the alpha is 25. There is plans to have an Arcade style class mixing eventually, but it's not in yet. I did get excited for this action combat that you can switch to by hitting the comma key. Playing as a tank class, you get an almost Skyrim-like control setup. Right-click holding activates your block and brings up your shield if you've got one. Left-click swings your basic attack, and Z will dodge. But being a classic MMO and knowing when to block in the field of eye-searing particle effects is almost impossible in a group setting, not to mention relatively pointless when it comes to blocking so little damage. Everything is percent-based. Though this is early game, some perks for the tank, for example, can increase this amount, but half of them are beyond the level cap of the alpha. It's almost always better to just do damage. Ranged attacks using this mode act as soft targeting. Beyond this, if you've played an MMO in the last decade, you kind of know what the combat is like. As MMO combat goes, though, it's fun and the abilities are interesting, for the most part. You'll recognize a lot of the big ones from other MMOs. Backflipping is a range.
I think that combat is fine. I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel here. I think going for the holy trinity of tank, healer, and DPS is completely fine, and with the regular classes, as long as they're fun to play, most people will be satisfied. I think that is okay.
Or an area of effect healing is the cleric. Tanking, aggro, threat generation, all the norm. The most interesting aspect of the game is how players can shape the world. So let's talk about cities. Of the two starting locations in the game, north or south, we started in the cold North Mountains, in an area called Anvils. We all made dwarves. The Anvils are made up of a series of provinces. Each one could grow into a village, a town, and then a mighty city, competing with the other provinces to gain dominance. This is an interesting take, as by design, no one can stop you from joining a city as a citizen once you've reached level 10. So it's not just the organized guilds that should get invested in the growth and prosperity of these nodes, but the players who actually live in them and log in every day. Since crafting material is physicalized and can't be teleported or fast traveled around, it's stored locally inside each city's warehouse. So players are financially invested in their homes to protect them. Yes.
That sounds horrible. It sounds horrendous. Why would anyone on God's green earth will play this game? It sounds such like a huge, like literally the most massive time investment you need to put inside of a game for it to be halfway functional. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Man, this game is gonna die on release, and nobody's gonna play it. Why would... Guys, you need to understand, most people are like me. Most people have a life, or God forbids, a family, and they can't afford to do this every single day and invest 12 hours inside of an MMO. They want to do something different. I always thought that the beauty of classic, of vanilla, sorry for calling classic all the time, it's you reach a point where you're just done. And that's it. You do your weekly raids and you can do something else. You have time to play single player games, maybe another multiplayer game, but you have time. You're not forced to log in every day and do some arbitrary tasks or invest some time to actually make your character good or viable. Like, this was the beauty of these type of games. They didn't try to make you stay inside of it. They were just willing to let you go. That was the beauty of it. I can't understand like how anyone think this game will be successful. It's gonna be dead on arrival.
Cities can be sieged and warehouses supposedly can be destroyed. Though
after the initial hype dies,
seem to be functioning as of right now, and the vassal system seems pretty bugged out on our server, with provinces just gaining control over regions nearby randomly. We even had a city in the south suddenly gain ownership over an island that hadn't even been built up yet.
This is horrifying.
And the vassal system...
By the way, for any one of you watching this video and you want to defend this, if you think there will be like multiple guilds that everyone's fighting each other for control and it's gonna be fun, that's not going to happen. What's going to happen in reality is that you're gonna have one guild that takes over the rest, everyone join that guild, and that's it.
It has already been reset, I believe, twice on our server. We arrived at our current home while it was a crossroads. This is one of the most basic levels that you can have a node. Underdeveloped, and we watched it grow into an encampment. Basically, we watched an XP bar on the map max out, and then we all got teleported out of town and saw a series of tents spawn, as well as a collection of about 4 structures that were in progress and needed player help to finish to speed up that XP bar for the city. These squares that were structures could have construction packs dumped into them to build up the area. We'll talk about these empty fields in a moment that you're seeing all over the footage. A few days later, the encampment gained enough XP from players living in the area to grow into a village, beating out the other regions in the anvils. We picked this region specifically because it had ocean access. Now,
but again, it raises a lot of questions, like what's gonna happen when you reach the end line, which is the metropolis, right? That's how it's called. Like, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the English term here. I'm not that fluent. But what do you do? And I know you can't have every city like max out. I know that. But what happens? Like, that's it? You just have the cities and you're done? Where's the rest of the content? Like, what do you do? You don't need to transport stuff anymore. Like, what is the content, dude? Where's the meat on that bones? Like, I can't see it. I can't see a vision for this game at all.
This was probably one of the most disappointing parts of watching the city grow. You see, in just a couple of days, our few tents that we couldn't really interact with turned into a fully walled, fully established village with multiple massive stone buildings, with what felt like very little input by the players beyond just running quests and gathering some construction packs. They all just spawned.
They can change that.
Like, look at this wall. It goes all the way around, and we never touched any of that. Now, this could be because we have a lesser developed region. You see, the first area the devs worked on was the southern area, which we now know is far more detailed and complete than the north, with more events going on and quests to be had. But that's hard to say if any of that had any impact on city development. The region around our city, well, it looks like a parking lot. It's like someone planned the city well before we arrived, but the buildings just hadn't been placed yet.
Wow.
Which is kind of exactly what happened. Hopefully, we see major content passes on this in the upcoming phases of various alphas until we get to the beta release. Now, I'm not knocking them for lack of content. This feels like an alpha. But to be fair, one of the most...
Yeah, but why are you paying so much money for it? Like, what? Dude, it's so weird that people still treat this as like an alpha test when they literally charging you ludicrous amount of money for it. Like, that would drive me crazy. Like, this is it. I don't know why I spoke like an idiot here.
Polished alphas I've ever been a part of in and outside the MMO space. But
what?
This should wave you off from diving in if you're not really interested in testing an alpha versus looking to get into an actual MMO and get invested. So it's a social MMO. What's the deal with PvP and the main loop? Well, the game has a flagging system similar to UO for PvP PK. Kill enough players, you turn red with penalties that'll have you dropping your gear on death. That's equipped gear, and have guards smacking you around.
Dude, nobody's gonna play this game. Dude, every single time I hear something new about the PvP system, I know that nobody's about to play this game. Nobody would agree to this. Nobody would subscribe to this. This is utter garbage. This is absolutely trash system. Why would you even play a game that have these options on? That is crazy. That is mind-boggling to me that anyone think this game will ever see the light of day. It's so dumb. Like, it is stupid.
And if you go into protected areas, how effective...
Nobody want to play these type of games. That's why they don't exist. Ashes isn't reinventing the wheel here. Games have tried to do this for years, over a decade at this point, and none of them succeeded. And there's a reason for that. Nobody wants PvP inside of their MMOs out in the open, be forced upon them, basically. They want it in a very precise manner where you have arenas and you can queue and then everyone go at each other. This is fun. This is really fun because you choose to do PvP. But when it's being forced upon you, by definition, the only people who will like that are PvP players, because non-PvP players won't have a choice. It will be forced upon them. You will drive these players away. It's so stupid, dude. What in God's name is going on?
This is
how can anyone think this is
for
good?
High-level players ganking low levels is questionable. At the moment, everyone's still in that MMO grind mindset. So we'll see what happens as the players level off and start looking for something to do. Since the system has that arcade-style trade packs, you as a player are the PvP content. Moving those packs means you're slow.
Yeah, enjoy being on a streamer server and being bullied by them. Like, this would be fun. I guarantee you that.
And have valuable materials on your back. You're a loot pinata. Either in your ship or loaded into a carriage. So take that as you will, pros and cons. I've only ever seen a handful of red names so far, and I've only been ganked once while running a dungeon with friends. Which is indeed lame, but expected when open PvP is available.
Yep.
It definitely put a dampener on chilling with a group and exploring the game's PvE that evening. City sieges are a planned feature, with cities being destroyed and other...
Exactly. And when you have an experience, a bad experience at that, being forced upon you, it will always drive players away. Always, always, no matter what. Imagine you're trying to do like a really nice dungeon with your friends, and you're suddenly being ganked by threats, and you just lose all motivation to play this game. You just quit. It's not fun. Players want to have the ability to choose whether they want to do PvP or not. Because sometimes you just want to chill and do the PvE elements. Like, that's what I love about Guild Wars, which I'm currently playing. I recently came back into this game, and I mean, the beauty of it, I can enjoy all of the entire world around me, and when I choose to do PvP, I can do that. And the PvP is excellent, right? I haven't done it just yet, but I can choose to do so. So WoW probably would be a better example, because I love WoW PvP, like the small arenas, but I really don't want to do battlegrounds and stuff, and like all of the ginormous things. So it's good that I have this decision to even control which type of PvP I want to do. But in Ashes, it's forced upon you. It's not fun. I don't want to do like open world PvP in WoW. I don't want to turn war mode on, right? Like, I don't want to do that. I have the option to at least, but I don't want it to be activated at all times. It sucks. Sometimes I just want to soak in the environment and chill out with new people. Like, I don't want to do this. I want to blast some music on and I want to chill. And having some sweat just completely decimating me because I'm not as invested as he is inside of the game. It just sucks.
Cities building up, alliances forming, etc. My worry is the collecting mechanic and how fun it is going to be to rebuild a sandcastle when the players have so little customization and input on it. Mayors can surely put down different structures where there are open spaces.
Yeah.
But that's hardly feeling like the player as a whole, the player base as a whole, has any real influence on the city they live in. We'll talk about the election system later. First, let's talk about gathering resources, the other half of the gameplay in Ashes. You see, at the moment, all these gathering skills, which is something all professions will have to do at some point, is a single gameplay loop. Go up to a thing and press F. Want to mine?
Classic.
Go up to a rock, hit F, wait for an animation. Want to pick flowers? Go to a flower, hit F. Taming, find a white animal name in the random spawns, hit F. Hope the RNG gods are with you. Lumber, tree, F. Fishing is the only one, if you squint, it's a little different. If you have a fishing pole, go up to freshwater source, hit fishing pole button. You can now AFK and watch an episode of Next Generation.
Yeah, this sounds like fun. For sure. To explore strange new Dude, come on.
Note here, there is an active version of fishing called sport fishing, which I'd love to see them get creative with the other gathering professions like they did here, having a chill version and then a much more active version. But at the moment, this is what you've got. There is farming too, but it seems to be just gather resources and stick them through the refinement skill.
It's basically just resource, like farm simulator. That's pretty much it. The game offers nothing. That's what he's trying to say here. It's so, oh my god, how people are willing to pay for that is mind-boggling. Like, this is so disgusting. Dude, what in God's name? Like, how people subscribe to this? It's so crazy. I will always advocate against this, like always.
No actual farming crops in a field yet, or managing your own territory. Though freeholds are supposed to be a thing. I'll report back on those as we get access to them.
Again,
and the next set of skills are processing, and they're really no better. Add an object that you bought from an NPC to the thing that you've been gathering, and then let it go through a table. This starts a timer, which can take minutes up to hours, depending on how much you're refining. So set it and forget it. I, for one, love the freeform nature of logging in, checking the bulletin boards for hunting, economic, and logistic tasks around the city, and then picking something to do, because it just offers me the opportunity to do whatever I feel like doing that day. From mining, refining, hunting monsters, or gathering a few...
But what are the costs? Why are you doing this for? Like, what are you just a farm simulator? Like, what are we doing here? Okay, you collect all of this stuff. How do you advance yourself as a character? Like, what do you do? It sounds like all you do is help fund the city. And that's pretty much it. Where's the fun? I don't get it. Like, where are the cool stuff?
Few people and trying out a dungeon From a PvE experience in the open world, it's the same
Whoa.
as it's been since 1998. Hostile monsters are sitting in fields waiting to be smacked around. They do have special attacks and power attacks and wind-up shots that you can have some fun dodging or, God forbid, trying to block. But the block percent seems so low that it almost doesn't matter. It is a bit fun seeing what each monster does. There is a unique PvE threat called corruption, but we've yet to see it happen in game, where essentially a hidden corruption stat causes a rift that can spawn unique monsters in a region and start causing trouble for that region with negative effect.
Kind of reminds me something of a game called Guild Wars 2 has done like millions of years ago. Wow, so renovating. Like, wow, truly incredible.
A proper PvE threat against the cities, that could be amazing.
Dude, it's so crazy to me that people are trying to like hype up all of this event system and stuff, and it literally existed since 2012. Like, Guild Wars 2 has done it all. Like, what in God's name are we talking about even? How can anyone hype this up?
But again, we've yet to see this in person. Dungeons are open world and spawn rates have been high.
What?
Respawn rates, that is. With the largest
my God, no.
killer of players, I think has to be getting back spawned while you're in a fight with something else.
Wow.
I can say the creatures in the world as...
Dude, even the dungeons are open world. You can get ganked inside of a dungeon? Oh, no. You can get ganked inside of it. Why? Why would you do that? That is so horrifying. You can't even have fun in dungeon. Oh my God.
The threat feel far more threatening than something like, say, Guild Wars 2, which I love that game. But the overworld threats always felt really weak, particularly if you even ran with one other player. Laughably so. My final thoughts, the city customization is dictated based on what the mayor chooses. This is someone that every one of the citizens have voted for. Our personal experience with this has been...
And I'm sure he's gonna use his power for good use. He's gonna put it for good use. Guys, I promise you. By the way, if you give... you will... Well, okay, wait, I'm kind of getting confused here. I'm getting high off, I don't know, like madness. Basically, if you play on a streamer server, you will never have a decision which one is going to be the mayor. The mayor is always going to be the content creator with the highest population of, highest viewership and stuff. If you're playing on like Asfand or Asmongold server, they will always be the mayors, like no question about it. People will mindlessly vote for them. So even the decision of choosing a leader is being taken from you, because streamers will always take the crown. No matter what you do or how much you'll cry, they will always have the higher position and people will always give them stuff. It's reality. So even choosing a mayor is not going to prove beneficial for you. And you know that these streamers will always do the funniest thing for their stream because they don't care about you. So they will just put taxes like to an extreme amount. They'll do some insanely difficult tasks. They're going to do absolutely their best to give you the worst experience ever because they don't care about you. They care about content. They have content brain. That's how most streamers operate. It is what it is. It's reality. And enjoy playing on this server because this one's going to be fun, I'm sure.
Lackluster. One of the guilds on the server figured out that the mayoral elections are all happening at different times. So, as a guild, they decided to jump to a city, join as citizens, all vote for one person so that their guild member will become mayor. And
they started the abuse in the alpha? Are you kidding me? That is insane. You see, this is exactly what I'm telling you. Players will always find a way to abuse a certain system. Always. And you will always be on the worst end of it because you're not willing to invest as much time inside of the game like they do.
Then go to the next city and the next city and the next city. And that's actually how we got our mayor, as I understand it. This has been deemed not an exploit, but going to be fixed on release. However, they're going to fix that. Then it is an exploit. While
you can fix what is not broken, so it is an exploit by definition. Like, what are we even talking about here?
Comical also kind of ruins any idea that we have an impact on the city itself. Overall, I'm enjoying the process of exploring what another MMO has to offer. It does feel very grindy, so keep that in mind if you're expecting a different experience. And for a game that's a social MMO, at the moment, the player expression, meaning...
What? Wait, what? XP depth? What the fuck is an XP debt? You lose XP. Jesus Christ. Man, I don't want to watch anymore. Is this over?
How we show off our characters, what kind of impact we can actually have on the world feels...
Yeah, okay, I'm done. Yeah, I think this video is over. Yeah, anyway, wow. This guy's actually shilling for this game. This is wild beyond belief. I just don't have anything else to say. This game is garbage. It's dead on arrival. Nobody would play it. I'm calling it right now. Unless they do some incredible changes to the PvP system, I can't see this game seeing like any reasonable amount of population inside of it. It's gonna just have the sweats, and then when only the sweats are left, they're gonna just battle each other, and then they're gonna leave. It's the literal fate of every PvP based MMO out there. Like, it is what it is. There we go. I said a thing. I wanted to not say it this video, but I always say it. But yeah, it's just reality, man. Nobody's gonna play this garbage. Nobody wanna be ganked by sweats. Nobody wanna be ganked inside of a dungeon, to say the least, or when you're farming, or when you're trying to like gather stuff. It's so cringe. When you die, you drop items. Durability seems to like break, and you have an XP debt. Dude, this is a joke, my guy. Nobody will be willing to subscribe to that. Like, nobody. That is absolutely nutty. I can't believe they even think it's going to work. And also, this guy conveniently dropped a lot of bad stuff about the game. He called out the grind, like, really shortly towards the end there. The grind is horrendous. I've been told this by people who actually purchased the alpha. It is absolutely horrifying. And, yeah, all of the stuff, like the bugs and glitches, it didn't even mention, which is, like, super weird. Right now, so many enemies are, like, stuck inside of the walls, and they're buggy and glitchy and messy. He didn't even mention that, so yeah, clearly this guy just want to keep on good terms with, I don't know, Steven or the Ashes of Creation development team. Nobody want to burn any bridges, which I do understand, to be honest, but personally for me, I don't care. All I care about is transparency and honesty, and even though I had high expectations of Ashes like 5 years ago, nowadays it has been completely removed. It's gone. Gone with a win. There's nothing left, and I'm 100% sure this game would fall and crumble. And by the way, for any Ashes of Creation defender out there who watched this video, can you please tell me in the comments, like, why do you love this game? I truly try to understand you guys better, and maybe for once, instead of calling me poor, you can actually tell me what is so worth defending about this game. Is it the vision for the future, which we currently don't even know anything about? What about, like, the current state of the game is fun for you? I genuinely want to know that. But yeah, it's just crazy to me that people are still willing to defend this game, and like, it truly is.